Chapter 8. Aaron. Man, why don't we ever get hot new girls? Tyson grumbles as Mr. Hagar resumes his lecture. What's wrong with the new girl? Okay, she's a little dark with her head-to-toe black look, but her face is pretty. Are you kidding me? I don't do emo. Too much emotional damage. Well, then it's a good thing you don't need to date her, I say, shaking my head at him. Did you forget that you're seeing Gina? I'm not really seeing her. We were just on a date, and I don't know if that's gonna work out. Seriously? Tyson is the best receiver on our team, but he is horrible when it comes to women. His face really ought to be in the dictionary next to the term serial dater. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm feeling it, you know? Normally, I would disagree with Tyson, but after my interaction with Stephanie this morning, I'm not sure I'm feeling it either. I shake my head and try to pay attention to Mr. Hagar, which is difficult as the man could literally win the award for most boring teacher of the year. Mr. Hagar sends us to the lab stations after he finishes his lecture. But before we get very far, there is a pop, and then a flame erupts. It bursts up to the ceiling and somehow triggers the sprinkler system. Water begins spraying from the ceiling. The girls scream and run for cover, while the boys shout in excitement and soak it up. Everyone needs to exit, Mr. Hagar says, but his monotone voice is drowned out in the chaos. Dude, this is awesome, Tyson hollers in my ear. I don't know if awesome is the word I'd use. The sprinklers have never gone off, and I always thought it would be cool if they did. But now it's just soaking everything. My clothes, my books, my hair. I wipe my face and head for the door myself. Having given up trying to get our attention, Mr. Hagar is now standing at the door and waving us out like one of those guys who directs planes at airports. Most of the rest of the guys take their time leaving the room. Like Tyson, they think this is the coolest thing that has ever happened in school, and it is doubtful it will ever happen again. The last thing I hear before I exit the doorway are the voices of Jack and Joey, a set of troublemaking twins. That was so cool! Did you get it on camera? Yep, every second. I should have known. Those two are like magnets for trouble. I don't even know if they do it on purpose all the time, but whenever something crazy happens, they are usually nearby. Oh my gosh, look, what a Velma. Tyson points toward the bathroom, and I see a girl emerge. She's in our class and was sitting next to the new girl, but I have no idea what her name is because she's never made much of an impression. Like the old Scooby-Doo character, she's a bit of a nerd and quiet, and she rarely garners attention. She does today, however, as a trail of toilet paper appears stuck to her shoe. This is priceless, he says, pulling out his phone and snapping away. A small part of me thinks about telling him to stop, but I don't. It's chicken of me, but I figure he's not hurting the girl, not really anyway. Before my guilt has a chance to fester, I hear Coach Matthews calling my name. Aaron, I'm glad I found you, he says when he reaches me. Do you have a minute to talk? Sure. I can't help but feel a little nervous as I follow Coach to his office. I'm rarely in trouble, being the star quarterback and all, but in my experience, these summons are never a good thing. I suppose it could be about scouting opportunities or scholarships, but it's pretty early in the year for that. When we reach his office, he opens the door and then closes it behind me. My stomach knots. Closed door meetings are never good. I'm sure you're wondering why I called you in here. He motions for me to sit down before crossing around his desk and collapsing in his old beat-up chair. The school bought new chairs for all the teachers a few years ago, but Coach Matthews refused a new chair. He's old school and said ergodynamic stuff was not his forte. and he'd stick with what he knew was comfortable. I don't know how much longer his chair will last, though, as it seems to lose more stuffing every day. But that's not my concern. A little. Did I win some award or something? I can't for the life of me think of anything I did, so it must be for some praise. One eyebrow arches on his forehead. No, you did not win an award. I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. First, how is your dad? I blink at him for a minute. How did you know about my dad? I heard some students talking about it earlier. You don't have to be here, Aaron. You can take the day off to rest. I shake my head. No, I can't, because I need to play. My mom says my college money might be needed to cover his bills, so I gotta play and I gotta get a scholarship. He sighs and rubs his chin. Well, that makes this next part harder. Even before I heard about your dad, I was gonna call you in to talk about your grades. I sink a little into the chair. Academics have never been my thing, but I've never struggled as much as I seem to be this year, and the year has barely started. They'll be fine, Coach. Surely there's some kid I can find to help with my papers and maybe sneak me some test answers. Always been one before. Will they, Aaron? It's only the first quarter, and they are already tanking. You know you have to keep your grades up to play. You remember that conversation, right? I nod. It was part of his speech last night. I just didn't think it affected me. I hear a girl might be sucking up some of your study time. Stephanie. To say she monopolizes my time might be a bit of an understatement. Well, at least until this morning. I have no idea if she'll continue to do that now, nor do I know if I care. Sure, she's pretty and the head cheerleader, which is good for my image, but all of that seems less important now. I mean, I guess I've been spending some time with her. Some time? His eyebrows shoot up his forehead. From what I hear, Aaron, she's always with you. Now, I know women are important, but so is football, and this year especially. This is your senior year, and scouts will be watching, but they can't scout you if you can't play. Understand, Coach. I'll get it figured out. Although I have no idea how. I'm sure you will. He leans back again. But I think you should get a tutor to help you, especially in chemistry, as that seems to be the class where your grades are slipping the most. A tutor? I've never needed a tutor. But then again, I've kind of skated through my classes previously. It helped that my hardest classes, math and science generally, were taught by one of my coaches until this year. I picture the students in the class. I don't know anyone who could tutor me. I'll put some feelers out, but you should keep your ears open too. You'll know better than I will who you can work with. Okay, I'll try. It's not going to keep me from playing, is it? Not as long as you keep your grade passing. Fall below 60%, and you'll be benched until it gets back up. He shrugs. School policy. Nothing I can do about that. Now, are you sure you want to stay for practice? I have to, Coach, and I'll be fine. Don't worry.